NH1109 is coming into consciousness. Sleeper is now completely deactivated, getting high readings for the brain. Heartbeat is picking up. If you can hear me, lift up your right arm. Good. Now your left arm. Good. Now please, open your eyes. My name is Dr. Peters. You can ask me any questions you have at any time.
Who am I?
You are NH1109. You are merely an experiment of little or no value, and you will not live beyond the duration of this experiment. No one besides the staff here knows you exist, and no one will miss you when you're gone. This is not a long-term experiment, so don't get comfortable.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Holdcraft, why do you begin every experiment that way?
Helen, it is better for them to know right away that they have no hope of living past their usefulness.
Better for them or for us?
What did he do? You know, to me. And the other experiments.
Well, you're part of a brain experiment. Dr. Holdcraft's brain experiment. You see, the brain is a magnificent instrument. It is capable of extreme feats and is incredibly adaptable. We can use this adaptability to manipulate the brain, in this case with certain chemicals. The doctor inserted the chemicals directly into your brain. This started the process.
You mean the mutation?
Well, I guess so. I'm sorry, you're actually the first subject that really wanted to have a conversation.
Please, continue.
So, depending on the chemicals you receive and the time you get them, you will get different results. Many experiments have ended in failures, but the successes have given the test subjects amazing abilities.
So that's it? Just one little dose of chemicals and we can all activate our superpowers?
There's a bit more to it than that, about 1 million equations more. And it isn't just one dose of chemicals. You need to get a little bit every day to keep your brain developing at a regular pace.
And if I don't get it, then what happens?
The brain will continue to mutate on its own, uncontrollably, until it either completely destroys itself or stabilizes. Unfortunately, reaching the correct chemical levels in the brain after it's been upset is impossible.
Splitter! What are some of the characteristics of a human infected with rabies?
Incoherency.
Like you are right now? So, I'm going to let you work on those papers now.
What are you doing yours on?
I don't know.
That's
What's yours about?
English,
Well, you know how my dad's a cop?
etc.
No.
But we are relating them to science because
He is. Anyway, he gets all the inside information before it goes out to the public.
cross-curricular.
Apparently, there is some huge investigation being done in a secret and illegal lab. So far, it looks like the workers were doing some experiments on people. And there's more. Apparently, some chick gave them up. She must have worked there or something, but here's the best part. She says one of the experiments escaped and is really dangerous.
I wonder why she thinks that.
What? That's it? Just wait. It'll be all over the news by tomorrow.
Well, I'm gonna get started on that paper now.
So how are you feeling today, NH1109?
Does that have to be my name? Couldn't I be called something else?
Sure. Let's call you Splitter.
Why Splitter?
Don't you like it?
No, I do. I was just wondering. Why are you so young?
You're not the only one in this room who Dr. Holdcraft has altered.
So, you're an experiment too.
Well, yes and no. He had already proven it was possible on himself. He just wanted to make sure it worked for everyone.
But what about your family? They would all grow old and you would just get younger. And what about Dr. Holdcraft? Didn't anyone notice when he stopped aging?
No, he doesn't have anyone who would notice if he stopped aging. He used to have a family, friends, a house, a life everyone dreams of. But soon his interest in studying the brain became the obsession that took from him everything but his mind. As for me, I was never close to my family, and they didn't miss me when I was gone. Soon after I left, I went to work for a clinical research center, where I met Dr. Holdcraft. He said he could stop a person from aging, but when he tried to present his work to the research board, he was fired. They didn't want to have anything to do with human experimentation. But I couldn't help myself. I was afraid of getting older, I guess. It's amazing what people will do to hide from the inevitable. But I've stayed too long, and I'm sure I've said far too much. I need to go now. Here, eat your food. It'll help your head.
School food is the worst.
Agreed.
My old school had some pretty decent food.
Then why'd you come here?
Well, my parents moved me here at the end of last year. What about you, Splitter?
My old school didn't have an art class, so I could make something like this.
That's great. So,
I want to get a picture with this masterpiece.
me too. Can we take a picture of us? Oh, why sure.
How could this happen?
I promise, I don't know.
You mean you don't remember? But I do. Those cameras weren't just for show. I watched while you spoke with her. Did you think I wouldn't pay extra attention to the last hope for my work? Do you remember what you said? Or should we watch it?
No, I remember.
Why is everyone here so secretive? Why couldn't I even be allowed outside?
I'm not really allowed to say much.
Come on, who am I going to tell?
It's true, you probably won't have anyone to tell. I'm sorry. The reason everyone is so secretive is that what we're doing here isn't really legal. If he could, Dr. Holdcraft would build a huge scientific facility with maximum security, and he would get real accommodations for his test subjects. But that would be too big, too obvious.
This room is fine. I really don't mind it.
Your comfort isn't exactly what the accommodations would be for. You see, as your brain begins to mutate, some strange things will be happening. The last experiment had to be ended prematurely because they got too much control over their brain mutations and started using them against us. So the accommodations would be for your safety as much as everyone else's. With the proper security, these things would not happen. Well, enjoy your dinner, Splitter.
Look at this. The articles are never the same twice. There's always something new in them.
Why do you care so much? No one else does. In fact, about a week after all this is over, I bet no one will remember anything.
I will.
Maybe you will remember.
Of course I will. Look at all these.
Jeez!
The story is all over the news now. It isn't hard to find them, and now they're saying that the escaped person is a girl, and they think she's in the area.
Check it out. There are police all over the place. And there's my dad. He was with me the night we met, but I don't know if you met him. Do you remember that night?
Are you here to register for classes?
Yeah. Where do I start?
I'll just go over there and stand in the line back behind those people. What's your name anyway?
Does it really matter what my name is? You won't remember me anyway.
Hey, I'm Eliza.
Call me Splitter. I loved the way you talked to Mrs. Beadle.
Well, it's true, right? No one here will even remember or even care.
Hey, chill out, or else you will be remembered as a crazy memory person. Come on, I'll introduce you to my buddies.
Vaguely.
Oh, hey, that reminds me. Here's the picture of your picture. I have one too. Do you like it?
It's perfect.
Well, we better get back to class. And they were never heard from again.
So you're saying that there was some lab doing stuff to people's brains and no one knew anything about it?
Basically.
Why did the woman give him up, though?
In the interview, she said she told the boss man that she was done with it, and then he said it was over so she could go do whatever she wanted, and he didn't care.
What are they going to do with the experiment when they find her?
What do you think the police are going to do to the scientist?
They'll arrest him and probably send him to jail forever.
Why so long? All they did was break the law.
A few times.
Right, and it was probably for the good of everyone.
Yeah, what if he discovered something important? He could save lives.
Why is there even a law for this kind of thing? We should do this for the good of the human race.
Splitter, what do you think? You've been awfully quiet.
I think you guys are missing the point. He isn't the bad guy because he broke the law. He's the bad guy because he experimented on people, living, breathing humans with no consideration for how they feel, what they want. They were just things. All I ever knew was that they were part of an experiment. They were alive just long enough to prove that the experiment failed, then they were killed and forgotten. How do you know they were killed? Would you leave a bunch of mutant failures alive to run around?
I don't think that...
Well, who cares? It was for the greater good.
So you're saying that it's all right to test on them, as long as you don't know them. You're saying they can be spared? By that logic, shouldn't we just kill the people that would need whatever was gained from the experiment? Wouldn't that be much easier? And how about the elderly while we're at it?
But those people have lives. They have families.
They matter? Don't you think that those experiments wanted to matter? To know that someone would miss them if they were gone? But no, they lived their whole lives, which weren't very long, knowing that no one would ever know they existed. Splitter, calm down! What's going on? Just go back to class. Forget me. Forget everything.
The brain will continue to mutate on its own, uncontrolled.
You are merely an experiment of little or no value. You will not live beyond the duration of
There are rooms all over the place looking for her.
Escape. It is really dangerous.
Amazing what people can do to hide human energy.
I'm the one you're looking for.
Everyone agrees that it's in the best interests of all if this experiment be ended quietly.
I understand. Should we wake her up?
I don't think there's any need. Congratulations, Miss Splitter. This experiment is over. There are police outside waiting to escort me to prison. All that's left in this experiment is the cleanup, which Dr. Peters will be handling.
So, you're supposed to do with them?
Yes.
Could we end it here? This was the first place I knew. be the last. Why did you go to the police?
I had enough of helping Dr. Holdcraft commit his horrible crimes. He needed to pay for what he did to you and the others. I honestly didn't expect him to give up so easily.
Do you really think I'm dangerous?
Yes, and I know you do too. Otherwise you wouldn't have given yourself up. Ready?